So is it possible to invest in one ETF and have everything covered? You probably heard about the invest in XEQT and Chill movement. In other words, you buy XEQT and see you at your retirement. You have nothing else to do in the meantime. So today we're going to look at what XEQT is, who is it for, and also I'm going to highlight the 3 major mistakes people make when they invest in this ETF. So XEQT is the iShare Core Equity ETF. It is made by BlackRock, the world's largest asset manager, and also the world's largest ETF manufacturer. When I want to know more about an investment product, I always go to the company's website where I'm going to get a great overview. So right up front, BlackRock gives you 3 key points about XEQT. The first one is it's an ETF of ETFs, meaning that you do not invest directly in stocks, but rather in packaged ETF that will track specific market or specific sectors. It is professionally managed by BlackRock, and I think they know a thing or two about investing, right? Finally, they have a very low fee at 0.18%. That includes all the ETF fees inside this all-in-one ETF. One last thing I would add, since I'm a dividend growth investor, is that XEQT pay on average between 1.5 and 2% yield over the past 12 months. The total trailing yield was 1.87. So definitely a low yield, high growth type of investment. So who should invest in XEQT? Well, someone that wants to have a portfolio fully invested in stocks. For XEQT, it is spread across 45% in the US market, 25% in Canada, another 25% across the rest of the world, and roughly 5% in emerging markets. You will also look at the top holdings across all those ETFs, and you will find out all the big names. So the Magnificent Seven, such as Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, and you will also find most of the big guys from the TSX, such as Royal Bank, TD, Shopify, and Enbridge. So nothing very surprising here. Besides, if you look at the bottom of this graph, you have over 9,000 stocks in this ETF. So definitely you are exposed to every company of this world. I was a bit surprised when I scrolled down throughout BlackRock page that they identified the risk indicator as being medium. I mean, don't forget that this ETF focuses only on stocks and will be quite volatile. So if you look at this graph, you will see that in 2020 and 2022, there was major volatility around this ETF. If you compare it to the S&P 500 and the TSX, so I've used SPY and XIU, you will see that there are similar movement as well. So if you're not in for a roller coaster, well, you're going to be disappointed because it's going to go up and down big time. If you look at the performance so far for XEQT, you will also notice that on bad years, you are not going to be hidden behind great companies. The ETF went down by 11% in 2022, telling you that you will suffer double-digit losses during bear market. Keep in mind, we have not entered into a major recession yet since XEQT exists, so it is yet to be proven how it's going to handle a major crisis in the economy. So who is it for? Well, for someone who has a high risk tolerance. Keep in mind, you're investing 100% in equities and 70% of your money is invested in North America, between 45% in the US and 25% in Canada. For someone also who doesn't have much time because it is professionally managed, you don't have to take care about anything and you don't have to figure out what your perfect allocation should be. XEQT takes care of that for you. Finally, for someone who wants to cover all angles, because you will be exposed to over 9,000 companies. In the end, it's an affordable solution that is professionally managed with only 0.18% of fees on this ETF. So if you're not in for this high level of volatility, BlackRock thought of you and has actually a complete suite of all-in-one ETFs. So they start with XEQT being 100% in the market, but then you can increase your exposure to fixed income. You will also know that as you increase your exposure to fixed income, you go from 9,000 holdings to over 20,000 holdings. So once again, XEQT and the rest of its family cover all angles. You probably don't necessarily need anything else. If you're like me and you want to be exposed 100% to stocks, but you would like to be in control, I want to invite you to my next webinar on November 28th, Dividend Income for Life. I did that webinar in the past, and the last time more than 1,200 investors saw it. Today, I'm helping thousands of investors to invest with conviction with this methodology. In this webinar, we're going to talk about how you can avoid major losses, how to select quality income companies, how to shape your portfolio to finally enjoy your retirement, and finally, how to withdraw money from this portfolio so you can create your dividend income for life. So you can join me at dividendstocksrock.com/dividend-income to register for the webinar. It's 100% free, and if you register, you will also receive the link for the replay. So book it in your calendar, November 28th, Dividend Income for Life. It's going to be the best webinar you'll ever see. So now let's end this video about the 3 major mistakes make when people invest in XEQT. So number 1, adding more ETFs. I know it's hard to have only one line in your brokerage account, but you are already exposed to 9,000 companies. What do you need more? I've read a lot of investors suggesting that you can add a little bit more of QQQ or SPY to be exposed even more to the NASDAQ or even more to the S&P 500. I mean, you are already 70% invested in North America and you would like to get more than this? The other disadvantage of boosting that selection is you're getting away from XEQT strategy, which is covering all angles by investing outside of North America. The second mistake is to add duplicate. So a lot of investors will start with a basket of stocks and then add XEQT. Well, if you look at the top holdings, chances are your basket of stocks will be more of the same. So in the end, it's like just adding 5 different types of salt to your soup. You're not going to get a better soup or taste better. It's just going to be saltier. So adding stocks, especially on the Canadian side, will just result in a duplicate. So you're just going to add more of Royal Bank, more of Enbridge, more of TD, and in the end, you already have those companies in XEQT. Finally, the third reason is to buy XEQT and not chill. A lot of investors will be super happy to have XEQT in their portfolio when it's up double digit because it tracks the market, right? So it's normal to have high level of returns. On the other side, during downturns such as 2020 and 2022, a lot of investors will not chill, they will panic, and they will start looking for another strategy or for another investment product. That just tells you that you do not have the risk tolerance to invest in a 100% equity portfolio. And this is the reason also I invest in stocks instead of an ETF, is when my portfolio is down, I know exactly why and I can do additional research to understand where the companies are going. With a ETF tracking 9,000 companies, you really have to invest and chill and forget about it no matter what happens. So in the end, if you do not want to bother with managing your sector, your country, or your stock allocation, XEQT is a perfect fit if you want a 100% equity portfolio. If you want a little bit more fixed income, BlackRock also have other all-in-one ETF that could do the job for you. If you are the type of investors that like to be in control, XEQT will not cover this part. But don't start mixing and matching other ETF with this one. It's already a full package. So I'm going to see you in the comment. Tell me if you're an XEQT fan. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel to not miss my next video next Thursday. And until then, don't forget to stay invested.